Welcome to 0 to 60.
I'm Matt McChesney. I am the owner and operator of 6-0 Football Academy and 6-0 Equipment. Played at the University of Colorado from 2004. 6 years in the National Football League on both sides of football.
I'm Matt McChesney. This is 0 to 60. That is Coach Prime. We are at the University of Colorado. Brother, thank you so much.
All right. 0 to 60. We're rolling. All right, welcome to 0 to 60. I'm your host, Matt McChesney. It is Thursday, and it is Nebraska week still. We have a huge show for you today. Coach Gary Barnett, my head coach, is going to be joining us at 11:30, so don't go anywhere. He is the ultimate Nebraska killer. That is the guy that started the trend. That is the guy that started the turnaround. And Coach Barnett is the man and like a father to me, and he's going to be joining us at 11:30 on the dot, so don't go anywhere. We got a lot to talk about today, Bailey. Let's pay some fucking bills. But right off the bat, look at this.
Man, what do we say? Man, let's go. Hell yeah. Let's pay some bills right off the bat. This show is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. BetOnline is every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. Think you know your stuff? Get in on our $200,000 mega contest and pick 5 games against the spread every week for your chance at weekly prizes and a share of $200,000. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Bet online, the game starts here. Matt, man, we got a great show today. How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I'm a little eager. You know, it's Thursday. It's that lull day, but we got Ravens Chiefs tonight, so that'll take the edge off. And, you know, Friday night football tomorrow, and then get in the car and drive to Lincoln, and it's fucking on Saturday. So I can't wait, man. I'm excited to say the least, and nervous. I'm nervous.
Man, I feel it. Before we get into it, let's talk about tonight a little bit. What are your thoughts on the NFL opener? Let's just discuss that briefly.
Well, thank God. I mean, look, man, I'm glad the NFL's back.
Yeah.
Baltimore probably needs to win the game more than Kansas City, but it's week one. Yeah. Week one lies to you. Week one is just about the excitement of football being back. So, you know, I don't really bet on games. I bet on touchdown scores. So I got my parlays running tonight. But other than that, you know, it's just the enjoyment of the game and watching it and football being back. And, you know, Sunday, Red Zone's back, thank God. And, you know, it's just this entire weekend is special. And I really can't wait, bro. The NFL being back is cool. I don't know why they got to go open in Brazil. But, look, the NFL's trying to go global, obviously. So we'll see how that goes. I find it also interesting that, like, did you see that the Eagles and the Packers had to, like, they can't be on Twitter while they're in Brazil because there's no free speech there.
Yeah. That's so crazy. You can't be on Twitter. You can't leave the fucking hotel.
Can't leave the hotel. No green, but both teams are green. Like, this is a really fucking good idea, Roger. So, yeah, man, look, it's a big weekend. I'm glad the NFL is back, but college football is where it's at. Let's be real.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. For tonight, I would take the under. It's week one, so I think it's going to be slower pace. I don't expect it to be a high-scoring game, to be honest with you. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. I'm not betting on a winner, I'll tell you that. Man, Matt, so let's get right into it. So I'm going to start it like this. There's a video that we showed on JB this morning, and we got to get you riled up this morning. It's Jason Whitlock. Jason Whitlock compared Deion Sanders.
Why are we putting this piece of shit on the show?
Just trust me. Jason Whitlock compared Deion Sanders to Joe Biden. Believe it or not, take a listen here and get your take.
Deion Sanders is Joe Biden. He's in cognitive decline, and everybody knows it. No one wants to talk about it. And then once it becomes completely obvious, then everybody turned on Joe Biden. Everybody knows Deion's in over his head as a Power 4, Power 5 head coach. They can't wait for him to get exposed. They're hoping it's going
Man, he goes on to say that Nebraska is going to be the one that does it, and everyone's looking towards this game. Matt, what are your thoughts on that?
I'm tired of this fat fuck. I didn't know we were going to talk about him on the show today, but I'm already in a mood. And look, dog, I did a show with this guy to like be professional, and it didn't work. This guy, he is the epitome of just like curdled milk, dog. He just sits there and stinks.
Yeah.
And he's got all these fucked up opinions, and he's supposed to be super religious, yet he judges everybody. And I'm a godless heathen atheist, so I don't give a fuck which side of the fence you're on. When you're dead, you're dead. All right? Yeah. Have fun being the dirt. So I don't really care about that part of it other than he preaches and then he talks shit at the same time. Cognitive decline? What the fuck is this fat piece of shit talking about? I mean, look, if you're a hater of Dion, which God knows JB is one, he fucking hates everything Colorado. If you say anything Colorado, JB's going after it. So I have no doubt that he played this clip. Of course he wants this. He probably giggled about it and shit. I don't think it's funny. I think it's ridiculous. I got Coach Prime and CU's back. Fuck Jason Whitlock in the face. I think that this is fucking stupid, and I don't want that fat piece of shit on my show again.
Yeah, that's a very fair point, and I think it's interesting. They keep calling out Nebraska. They keep calling out like this is going to be that game that's going to really reveal shit. I'm like, I can't wait for this fucking game.
That's the thing, bro. Like it was 36-14 last year. The same team's coming back for them, and they have a rookie quarterback. Yeah. Colorado is not UTEP. North Dakota State would beat UTEP by 4 touchdowns. Like I'm sorry that there's so much hate, but look. I do not want Jason Whitlock's fat fucking ugly face on my show again, or I'm going to punch my computer. And I'm not going to buy a new one, and then the show's over.
All right. I'll keep that in mind for future things.
Thank you, Bailey.
Yeah. We keep it real on the show, though. People love to see you combat those who hate on Colorado. Jason
look, I'm all about that, but Jason Whitlock doesn't hate. That is some conspiracy theory bullshit. Coach Prime is in cognitive decline. Come on, dog. The only person that sounds like Kamala Harris is you over there choking on dicks, Whitlock. Let's be real, dog. We want to start comparing politics. All right? Fucking Coach Prime could run for president and win. You'd run for president and fucking, what, in Mexico maybe? I mean, come on, dog. They're not – let's be real what we're talking about here. If we give this piece of shit a platform like we just did, then we get to talk about him. I don't ever want to give him a platform again. After doing his show and listening to him and understanding how full of shit he really is, and then all of his little cronies that feed off of him and like fucking play this game, I think it's fucking played out. I think it's stupid, and all of his little cronies can come at me too, and that may include people I know. I don't give a fuck if you don't like what I'm saying. Come at me, dog.
Yeah, and you spoke on this earlier. For those who seem to think that this Nebraska game is going to be the revealer or the true serum for Dion, can you guys speak to that? Like they played last year, it was what it was. It was kind of a blowout. So, what are your just thoughts on that?
Look, bro, it's like people's memories are gone.
Yeah,
I understand Nebraska went 5-7 and CU went 4-8. But CU beat the goddamn hell out of them. They didn't. That wasn't a tight game. They dominated them. It was 36-7 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So I understand that the teams are different, but CU's better than they were. So now Shador has better pieces around him. Travis Hunter's better. Jimmy Horn's better. Seaton's better. Tyler Brown's better. And look, I don't care about the rushing yard stats last week. If week one doesn't fucking count in the NFL, then goddamn it, week one college football is as irrelevant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like the LSU people aren't cashing in the season because they lost to SC. They have shit to fix.
Mm-hmm.
Virginia Tech isn't cashing in the season because they lost to Vanderbilt. They got shit to fix.
True.
This is a non-conference game in reality that both teams want to win desperately because it's a rivalry game. I want to win it desperately. 4 in a row against Nebraska sounds pretty fucking good to me, and I don't think it's ever been done. And goddamn it, let's do it. Like I did 3 or 4 when I was in college, but I never did 4 in a row. Mm-hmm. So if you can win 4 in a row, that's awesome. There's a 2-year break in the middle, and they don't play again forever. I was actually on Adam Carricker's show this morning, who's a great Nebraska Cornhusker and a friend of mine. And I was advocating with him that they play it every year. I think we should play this game every year, home and home. to start the season. Now you got to get people to agree on that shit and change schedules and whatnot. But
yeah, I agree. But I'm with you on that.
They're always doing that, right? They're always changing schedules. CU just moved to the Big 12. They had to take a bunch of teams that they were going to play in the non-conference, like Kansas State, off the schedule. So let's see if we can fill that void with Nebraska moving forward. That's all I'm saying. Look, I don't understand why everybody just thinks that CU is going to get rolled by a team that they fucking rolled last year. That doesn't make any sense. If anything, it's going to be a really tight game. And Colorado's not walking in there with anything to lose. They have nothing to lose. Nothing. If they go in there and play their ass off and lose a close game, they played their ass off last close game, beat them last year on to Colorado State. I don't see a blowout in either regard. I don't see us blowing them out, and I don't see CU getting blown out. It's not the end of the world if Nebraska loses, and it's not the end of the world if Colorado loses. You want to know when this game was the end of the world if you lost? November 26th. Because every time we played this game on November 26th, whoever lost was fucked, and whoever won went to the Big 12 title. So, come on. I mean, I want to get behind all of this, like, panic, I guess, because there are Buff fans that are panicking too. The majority of them are pretty confident that we're going to win, but there are some that are fucking walking around on eggshells. Yeah. Just double down, dog. This is a double down game. This is a look, we've got nothing to fucking lose. Go into Memorial, play your balls off. They can't cover our people. Hold up front. You have 10 days to get ready. I mean, look, dog, I watched Boston College masterclass fucking Mike Norvell in Florida State. All right. They had a long time to get ready for that game. Oh, yeah. CU has 10 days to get ready for Nebraska. I understand that there's this shit lock and all these fucking idiots that think that Prime can't coach or some shit and he's over his head. That's not what I see at all. I think that they made a ton of adjustments at halftime and got better, and they're going to put Nebraska in some tight situations. Because I don't care who you are. The CU is going to be able to throw the ball on you, period. Can they run the ball? Do they want to? Can they stop the run? Can they rush the passer and hit the rookie and force him into fucking mistakes? If you're going to ask me which side of the fence I'm on quarterback play and mistakes, Shador doesn't really make mistakes. That pick last week was a joke. And Rayola's a rookie. This is his first taste of like real speed and real college football. And no offense to UTEP, but let's be real. So this is right where we want you guys. I want you talking shit. I want you thinking we're slow and stupid and not very good. Keep underestimating Shador. I've been doing this since day one on Coach JB's show when everybody started questioning this. I told just don't question these guys. They're going to fucking blow up. And what they do, they blew up. So, look, dog, this is right where we want you. Please, for the love of God, keep doubting us. Please. Please.
Exactly. There you have it. Moving on here, and I don't even know what to say about this. Matt, you sent me this, and you said you wanted to talk about it. It's a picture, so we're just going to show it. Matt, why is
it blue?
Huh?
Why is the picture blue?
You can't see it?
It's blue, dog.
What? What? I'm confused.
It's like blue on my end.
Oh, fuck. You can't see that shit?
Like, you can see it. It's just blue. Blue.
I don't know what to think of this. Matt, I'm just going to let you.
First of all, he's not underwater, and he's doing the splits, and it's blue. No one can see that. Just get rid of it. Fuck it. Next.
Okay. I think those watching can see it. I don't know what's going on. But
what's going on with my shit? Nothing's going on with my shit. All I do is open this fucking computer every day and hit one button. There's nothing going on with me, dog. Oh, so it's not blue. Okay, so put it back up. Fuck it. Let's watch this fruit. There you go. That's some this guy's definitely voting for Kamala.
I don't even know. I don't know what to say about this. This is ironic that you sent me it on Thursday of Nebraska week.
That's terrible.
Wow.
I got an idea for a picture. Watch. Woo!
Oh my God.
77.
God, I can't wait for this fucking game. Oh my God.
I wonder how he pass sets.
Oh my god, bro!
Just find out if 77's on the team and playing. Because if he is, I got to send this to Coach Sapp and be like, if you lose to this motherfucker and it's on.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna do some research.
This is the kind of shit that I would fucking flourish off of, homie. I would find back in the day, I would read the fucking media guides and deep dive into people. And I'd walk up and be like, hey, center, Karen's fucking meatloaf last night was awesome. That Peloton she sleeps on when your dad's away on business, super comfortable. Here's my mom's name. Yeah, I know. I fucked your mom.
Okay.
And you're like, what the fuck?
All right. Here's what I've gathered on this kid. This is
who's 77?
Freshman tackle Gunnar Gatula.
Yeah.
He's freshman, 6'5", 295, hometown.
I mean, look, that's impressive.
Nebraska.
No one's saying that's not impressive, but no one's also not saying that that's not something else.
Yeah, it's a little bit of both.
What the fuck, dog?
Oh my god. I cannot wait for this game. God damn it.
This generation's different, dog. I love Tropic Thunder. It might be my favorite movie of all time. And in the movie, he's just walking around like, hey, it's 2000. It's Hollywood. Everybody's a little bit of the time.
It's Hollywood. All right. God damn.
Hollywood.
All right, we brought the move back up. Let's talk some real shit here. So Mel Kiper.
Hey, that kid is off the team now. They just look, right here. Look, from Joseph Huff. That's Gudula. That kid is off the team now. Ha ha. No shit.
Shocking.
He walked out the first day pass setting and went 77, and they were like, "Nope, get the fuck out."
God damn, that's hilarious, man. I love it. Oh,
hey, Josh, look, Dave, homie. We're not hating on UTEP. UTEP has a lot of heart. Actually, that was the last game I ever played. We beat them in the bowl game. I'm not trying to hate on UTEP, homie. I wish you guys would have won.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Oh man, so Mel Kiper is talking about Travis Hunter. He's talking about stuff with the draft, and he says Travis Hunter is the best player in the draft. Take a listen here and get your take.
More quickie. Who's the best player in the country? Right now, number one, Mel Kiper's favorite player in the country is?
You could make an argument 25 years ago. It was Champ Bailey, right? Dual play, offense, defense, right? Great corner in the NFL, Hall of Famer. Travis Hunter at Colorado. It's going to be, is he a corner? Yeah, he's a great corner. Is he a receiver? Yeah, he's great there. But hey, changing that score is going to be too tempting not to keep him on the offensive side of the ball. Travis Hunter, because the quarterbacks are going to get forced up. Happened when Champ Bailey came out. Quarterbacks went 1, 2, and 3. A couple running backs went ahead of him. Well, guess what? Travis Hunter, I think you can make an argument, Greeny, is the best pure football player in this draft.
Man, it's hard to take Mel Kiper seriously sometimes, but I agree with him on that. What are your thoughts on that?
I think Mel Kiper's fucking head is massive. Will you put that back up there, dog?
Yeah. Oh, my God. That's so
the size of this dude's fucking dome. Look at that.
Good Lord.
It goes up to his chin and expands. It's like he's got side growth, and then up. It's like
a wide freaking head. Imagine fitting a football.
I mean, Jesus Christ. Okay, so other than that, he's not wrong. This is the first time maybe ever Mel Kiper makes sense, but Travis Hunter is the best player in the draft on both sides of the ball. He's a goddamn unicorn.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing this kid can't do. I was listening to the radio this morning, taking the boys to school, and they're adamant on 104.3 fan that he's going to be a corner. And then the next station is adamant that he's going to be a receiver. And the next station is adamant that my sources tell me that he's going to play both ways. And I'm just listening to all these talking heads, and I'm like, you fucking dummies don't know shit. Look, Travis Hunter goes as high as I think he's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
The coach is going to have an extremely interesting conundrum on what to do with Travis Hunter, okay? That's a great problem to have. Yeah. Great problem. How are we going to play the best player on the field both ways? I wonder. So, look, Mel Kiper's right. Travis Hunter is the best player in the fucking world. And I personally think he is going to be the number one pick in the draft and win the Heisman. And I put money on him winning the fucking Heisman. And I think him and Shador are going to fight for the Heisman, especially after they go off this weekend. Because Matt Rule is going to try and take Travis Hunter away. And that Patty Boy is going to try and fucking move him around and make it so you can't isolate him. Mm-hmm. So don't be surprised if Travis Hunter's in the slot this weekend a lot. And they're trying to get him down the middle of the field. And then don't be surprised if he's on lockdown on the number one receiver for Nebraska and he takes one to the crib. I wouldn't be surprised if he scores on offense and defense this week. So eventually they're going to stop throwing the ball at him, all right? And eventually they're going to start triple teaming his ass, which is just going to open up the field for everyone else. Mm-hmm. So he is the ultimate weapon. He's a megaton nuke. He's a game killer, and that's very, very rare. Yeah, there's a lot of great players out there who are not game killers, right? There's a lot of shitty players that are game killers. You put them on the field, and then all of a sudden your fucking team explodes. But he's the exact opposite. He lifts everything up in a positive direction. I can't wait to talk to Coach Barnett about him, honestly.
Yeah, me too. And speaking of what Kiper said, so I want to bring up these lists. I think they're from 33rd team, but they got Travis Hunter on third in the top 5 cornerbacks for the NFL Draft Big Board. Matt, I believe you sent me this. Your thoughts?
I can't be mad about this. I put him at 2. I think Will Johnson could be the first guy. He's a stud. Yeah, I also think he could be 1. So it's nice that he's on the list. Shador's the number 1 quarterback, and then he's on the fucking receiver list too. So
yeah, I was just gonna say we got the receiver list. He's 5 on the receiver list, but I mean he's behind the hell of a cat, Emeka Egbuka. He's from Washington. He's from Stellacombe High School in Washington. So shout out Egbuka, Washington State product. But yeah, Travis Hunter is gonna go get picked somewhere. He's
gonna get paid. Shador's the number 1 quarterback on the board, and I don't really think that that's debatable. I like Carson Beck. But I wonder if Carson Beck could do in Boulder what Shador does. And if you put Shador on Georgia and he might throw for 800 yards.
Yeah, that's a hell of a point you make. Yeah, that's a hell of a point you make. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Look at the other 4 guys on that list have 4- and 5-star people all over the field around them. Shador has Hunter and Horn and Seaton. Yep. And then developmental guys that were good college players that got picked up in the transfer portal, right? That's what it is. And then Zelinkus the center was a high school kid. So look, I think that if you put Shador in some of these places where he's surrounded by 5 stars, he might break the passing record.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, man. Oh man, if you had to make a prediction right now, this is just free ball and why not? If you had to pick a team,
hold on a second. Yes, I remember this. I was a rookie in the NFL. Do you remember when your mom walked in on you jerking off? You fucking weirdo. Next.
Jesus. Yeah, just sticking on that draft thing a little bit. If you had to pick a team, if you had to predict, because I'm guessing some shit's going to happen where either Shador and Shiloh are going to end up together or something's going to happen. If you had to pick a team, where would that be? Raiders, Giants, what?
Cowboys. Mm-hmm. I've stood by this, and I really think it'll be for real. I think that at the end of the year, Jerry Jones does not want to pay Dak Prescott $180 or $200 million because he ain't worth it. Kirk Cousins just got $180 off a torn ACL. Mm-hmm. So I think that they'll trade they'll trade Dak in the first rounder and the first rounder next year to move to 1 to whoever they have. And you can't say no to that deal. You got an established veteran quarterback for a shitty team and 2 first-round draft picks, and then they'll pick Shador. And Shador will be the face of the Dallas Cowboys moving forward. And they'll have him on a rookie contract, and then he'll be able to go build around him, and then maybe Dallas will actually win a Super Bowl. That's not what I think is going to happen. That's what's fucking going to happen.
And yeah, it seems Dak ain't been re-signed yet. It seems to be trending towards that. I could definitely see that for sure. Last thing I want to talk about before we take a quick commercial break and Coach Barnett joins the show. Shador Sanders and Deion Sanders Jr. So Shador has his podcast now. Started recently, and he just had Julian Lewis on the show. And I just wanted to show this quick thing.
So we got a 5-star quarterback, Julian Lewis, maybe future Colorado. Come in.
Man, so I just wanted to. So they had Julian Lewis on, interviewed him about a bunch of things. But I just wanted to ask you, from a recruiting tactic, how smart is that?
I'd say that the Sanders family plays the fiddle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they play the media like a fucking fiddle, and it's dynamite, fucking dynamite. I love it. That is awesome.
Yeah,
that's how you create intrigue. I don't see Lincoln Riley up there like, hey, JoJo, you want to jump on my podcast? Or you want to go on with Miller's on his podcast to talk about fucking country music or some shit? No.
Yeah, but
I mean, it's a flag podcast. It's Bucky and Shador. The minute I saw Bucky, I was like, oh, that's gonna blow up.
Yeah, I was just like, that is a genius recruiting tactic.
Smart is what it is, and just the more that you manifest, the more that you say something, the more that you want something to happen, and the harder you work to go after it, it eventually is going to happen. Juju's going to look at this and go, do I want to start for Coach Prime in Boulder immediately? And, you know, I think that there's some good players behind him, but you bring in 5-star Juju Lewis, he's starting. And then, or do I want to go sit at USC behind 2 or 3 other guys that are 4 and 5 stars and see if I play?
Yeah.
I would go the other route in today's NIL world.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like if you're a player coming out, the trend is just seems to be leaning. Where can I go play the quickest?
Yeah,
right?
Look at Jordan Seaton. Like all he's got to do is call Jordan and be like, "Yo, how is it?" I mean, Jordan's going to be like, "Awesome," checks and starts.
Yeah. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah, or we can go the CSU route, and you can go play for a fucking nickel and a bottle cap and like a pack of Bud and Natty Ice or some shit. And then like Mad Dog 2020, we can get you one of those too. And then, you know, you can go fucking be a veterinarian. It sounds awesome. Passing up $600,000 motherfucking dollars just because Jay Norvell asked you to, you stupid ass motherfucking so stupid motherfucker.
Matt's gonna be mad about that for a long time.
It's so dumb. If one of my guys called me and said they just offered me 600 G's, I'd say, okay, did the other school match it? And he goes, no, they gave me 50 grand. I'd say, get the fuck out of there now and go get your money. What are we talking about?
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. And I mean, going back to the Juju thing, when I saw that, and I was like, okay, I see what's going on here. That's fucking genius. I mean, I really don't think that other programs are really taking advantage of that. This space specifically, I was like, man, that is really, really smart, especially Juju's an 18, 17-year-old kid. He's not going to say no to free publicity like
it's
that.
Smart as shit, dude.
Yeah.
Every time I have one of my guys on the show, they love it. They're not used to this kind of shit. And, you know, Juju's on there with Shador. Everybody gets to see it. Oh, you're on there with Shador. You know Shador, blah, 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 blah. It's super smart. That, again, media world, fiddle, Dion and the Sanders family. Play that motherfucker. I mean, come on, dog. The fiddle is fucking rolling. Yeah. It is devil went down to Georgia time, homie. Let's fucking go, Charlie Daniels. Woo!
And last thing I'll ask you, we'll keep it quick. Do you actually think he'll flip his commitment? Like, I don't know. Like, yes.
I do. Especially if CU keeps doing what they're doing and airing the ball out and showing the ability to throw the ball downfield, and that's their system. And then if he believes that Coach Prime's going to stay there and he commits, he's a starter. And I think next year you got some young guys playing, but that's okay. I'd rather play them young and get fucking the rust knocked out of them and get their ass kicked early so they can develop, because development equals dominance, bro, period. If you develop, if you just put the fucking work in, eventually you're going to dominate. Not everybody's on the same like trajectory to start, trajectory to get recruited. Some guys are late bloomers. I remember Gage Genther walked in. Gage walked in as a sophomore in high school, a super skinny tight end. 2 years later, he left as the best left tackle in Colorado, 4-star recruit going to Tennessee. So it's about development equaling dominance. That's the way this works. And look, we're about to have Coach Barnett on, and Coach Barnett is the king of developing people into dominance.
Yeah.
Facts.
I can't wait for
that. Coach Barnett used to reform us, not recruit us. My recruiting class is pretty rough around the edges, and we cost him a lot of gray hairs, but we also won him a lot of games, so it's a good trade-off. But what I'm saying is, if you're not in the mindset of, look, even Jordan Seaton, they're developing the shit out of him. They're developing the shit. Charlie Offerdahl, they developed the shit out of him.
Yeah, true.
You know, like I look around the Colorado program and I see a lot of developmental projects that they put a lot of work into, not just Shador and Travis and Horn. That's how I know if you're a novice and you're not really paying attention to what's going on in Boulder. If all you do is bring up those three, and they're really fast and they're kind of soft because they throw the ball so much, you're not paying attention to what they're doing. Bill Lodehold is there to develop Seton and the rest of the offensive line. Tyler Brown, over the last 2 years when he couldn't play, developed into a monster. Those two tackles played their asses off the other night. Yeah. Shedeur only got sacked once. He got hit, but he got hit because he was holding the ball, looking for places to throw it downfield while he's eluding in the pocket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, there's so much more that goes into this shit, and I really think that they're building a great foundation up there. And it's kind of a very eye-opening thing when people go in and they only talk about the stars. So if that's the conversation you're having with someone, the majority of the time that guy or girl doesn't know what they're talking about. They're only listening to ESPN or Paul Fine-Bitch or somebody else. So
yeah, there you have it. Hey, man, after this quick 1 minute commercial break, we're going to have Coach Gary Barnett on the show. I cannot wait for this. This is going to be a great interview. We're going to talk all things Buffs, Matt's time being coached by coach, and much, much more. I cannot wait for this. I'm so excited. We will see you on the other side.
Whether it's offensive linemen as they work combos and double teams and also pass pro and punch, I think the unique physicality of this is outstanding. So much so that you can use it for your shield on punt team or as you rush in the shield. There's so many different ways that we're using it. We get better a little bit every single day, and I just wanted to say thank you because I hadn't ever thought of this, and when I saw it, it made total sense, and we're doing a great job with it. So thank you, man. Go Big Red. What this has done for us is it's allowed us to, because of the surface area, because of its firm nature, I can still strike against another player and have to use that punch just like you do on a sled. At the same time, have to time my punch because it could move. I can teach defensive linemen how to handle double teams because they can feel pressure. We can simulate contact in a safe environment in non-contact times because of this unique bag.
Man, here we go. Without further ado, we got a big-time interview. Legend joining the show. Legend. I cannot stress that enough. Former Colorado Buffaloes head coach, actually Coach Matt McChesney. I cannot wait to, I cannot thank him enough for joining the show. This is an absolute honor. Let's welcome him to the show, Coach Gary Barnett. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining.
Hey, guys. See all this gray hair? Most of that's from McChesney.
We were just talking about this. Hi, Coach. I love you. Thanks so much for coming on the show. Literally the only person on earth that calls me Matthew other than my mother, and I love it. I know you guys head out tomorrow, and this is as big of a game for you as it is for everybody else because I'm adamant with this, but, you're the coach that was there. I remember standing with you at the Dow Ward, and I can't remember the other kid that was up there with us. I think he went to Florida. But I remember standing there with you and looking out the window onto the field at my official visit, and you talking to me about coming here and being part of the group that 2000 class mixed with the group we had to turn the tide on Nebraska and return to dominance. And it still gives me goosebumps to the day because it worked. Since 01, we're 7-6. They've won 3 in a row. We won 3 out of 4 with my time there with you. Just talk about the importance of turning the tide on them and how special that is now in 2024, in your opinion.
Well, Coach McCartney started this rivalry, and he did it out of respect, Matt, just because when he looked around, he said, who's got a program everybody emulates or wants? And it was Nebraska. So he said, that's our rival. So then, we chipped away at them. We got our butts kicked most of the time, but in 06, we finally beat them at home. And then in not 06, I'm sorry, 86, yeah. And so then in 89, we won the Big 8 championship and played them, and then we beat them again in 90 to win the national championship, and then tied them in 91. And so I think from that point on, there was a drought. And when we got in there, the first year in 99, we missed a 23-yard field goal to win the game after coming from behind.
Oh, I remember sitting in the stands as a recruit, and I was next to Tufts, and I was like, we're about to beat him. Oh, my God. And Aldridge missed right, and I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah. And then, when we went up there in 2000, we did a 2-point conversion, went ahead of them with about 40 seconds left. And, they threw a little route on us that we didn't cover, and they ended up kicking a field goal at the last play of the game to beat us. So, but we knew we had played them well the whole time. We could stay toe to toe with them, and so when everything unfolded in 01, it was just like it was supposed to happen.
And Coach, let's talk about 01 a little bit. I remember the build up to that, and man, the pregame before, the tension in the room and how everybody was ready. Like there was no doubt what was about to happen, and it was just an unleashing. I've never experienced a football game like that since. I don't think you ever will. If you were there that day, I think it was one of the most unique college football games in the history of the sport. And it's something like I'm wearing the shirt today of this little baby junior son of a bitch that we make right. So it's ingrained in Colorado history, but it's also ingrained in Nebraska history. And I was on Adam Carricker's show this morning talking back and forth, and we brought up that game, and it seems like that's really the point in their program where they realized that it's, they were humbled. So how much pride do you take in the fact? I know there's tons of respect. I always say the mutual respect for Colorado and Nebraska is through the roof. I mean, it's unbelievable how much we respect each other, but the hatred is real as well. So just talk about the 01 game and like the feelings and the emotion and everything that went into that. I know it's a lot, but I'd love to hear your opinion on it.
Well, Matt, we had slowly gotten better. We had just beaten Iowa State, which was a heck of a football team in Ames the week before, and we had pretty much just dismantled them.
That's when CJ went for 100 rushing and 100 receiving, right? Yep.
We were feeling it at that time, and then I know our coaches, at least especially our offensive coaches, just felt like they had a plan. And we talked to them, and we looked at it all, and there was a certain motion if we used, we'd get a linebacker displaced, and then all we got to do is get a hat on, and we were going to make some yards, and that's just about what happened. And then they got so concerned in the run game that Dan Graham came wide open several times plays. But I really knew earlier in the week that something big was going to happen for us, because Nebraska in their coaches interview said, well, we have to change the way we practice. Because they're so physical, we have got to go practice very physically. Well, when you have to change what you do for that, you're already beaten. You've admitted defeat right there.
God, man, you're giving me goosebumps.
Yeah. So I just knew, and I remember telling you guys that, but I think we played the interview, but that's when I knew that, Nebraska was worried about us. I mean, really worried about us. And then, of course, the way we opened the game, and I know you probably didn't feel this way, but I never felt like that game was in hand until we took a knee after a 7-minute drive. I mean, it just felt like Nebraska was so good. They had a Heisman Trophy winner at quarterback that they could come back at any time. But we shut them down defensively and scored when they had to, and all of a sudden it became a big win.
Yeah, and look, the entire atmosphere that evening, I remember after the game in the team room, I turned around, my grandpa standing there, and I'm like, how the hell did you get in here? So it was one of the most memorable nights of my life, and so for so many of us. That said, you went back to the physicality part, because we're going to transition this into the new school era. That football team was the most physical football team I've ever been a part of, in the NFL included. If you didn't bring your lunch pail for the 2001 team specifically, you got replaced by another guy that was going to the NFL. And the practices were ruthless, trying to beat Dre and Vic and Dan Graham and Wayne and Marwan and Bates and they'd run in the second group and they'd be just as good, and 5 running backs deep and Pesavento, and it was an absolute hammer. Transitioning now to a team that's full of stars, but it doesn't seem like they're definitely not a hammer. They're definitely a broadsword. Like they are. They will cut you up in the air, but I don't know how much they're going to hammer you down. College football's changed. Nebraska's not the same. They're air raid a little bit as well. Does this game need to be as physical as games of the past, or has it morphed a little bit?
Well, I think it's morphed. I don't think the rules let you practice the way we practiced.
That's a good point.
We
no
went.
3D.
We went 16 plays every Tuesday and Wednesday, full go, ones on ones.
Yep.
And it was all out inside drill. And,
it was awesome.
I think the physical part of it has scared a lot of folks. And so even though we didn't really get anybody hurt in any of it, I would always call it a couple plays short because I was going, okay, I've gotten through 14 plays. I am not going to get somebody hurt on the 15th play. Period's over, right? So, but, they're so conscious of it, and they can't practice that way in preseason. In preseason, for example, they don't even take the guys to the ground. And there's rules about how much full tackling you can do. The spring, there's only 4 days that you can all out tackle the whole practice. There's 4 days you can have some tackling. And then there's another whatever many days, that 7 days where you can't do any of that. So the game and the rules of the game now, I think, prohibit you. And I think probably best practices is that you, if you're going to lose a guy, you'll lose a guy on Saturday, not on Wednesday. And so I think that's changed a little bit. But I know one thing, no one was more physical than we were when we were on the field and at practice. And, we all took a lot of pride in that. But
all of us did. I mean, it was what I hung my hat on for the rest of my career as well, especially in 04, when we start 3-0 and then all of a sudden we're 4-4 and we got to win 3 in a row to win the North. Everybody, all the leaders in the room got together and we're like, look, we're tougher than they are. We can play harder than they can. And we just have to do it. It's something that's stuck with me to me sitting here. I mean, it's just the way I operate. Everything is 100% or it doesn't happen. So that was instilled in by you and your coaching staff, and it's something that all of us carry around. We had Clad on the show earlier in the week or early last week to preview North Dakota State. He was bringing it up. So the foundation you've laid for your players throughout time is unquestionable. And I just wanted to ask you that question as the former head coach there and now being in the booth with Mark, watching and being ingrained in everything, but also, watching and then telling the public what you see. How unique is it, the relationship between Dion and not only his kids, but the rest of his team? Like, it seems like everybody's pretty close in that group. Even though they're transfers, they're really together.
Well, it's really hard to say because I'm around them in practice, but I don't have full access to them, at other times and not around them. But their practices are spirited, and their practices, they get after it pretty well. They're not physical. Like I said, they don't take anybody that, it's not a running back gets taken to the ground like ours did. But, I think they've all, that literally is a place. This is a place where they did almost virtually every one of those guys come there because of Deion Sanders.
Yep.
You guys didn't come because of me. You came for a lot of other reasons, and I was just a piece of it. But every one of those players has come there because of Deion Sanders. And, that in itself creates a unique relationship. And I don't know if there's another coach in the country that can stand there and say, every one of my players came here because of me. But Deion can say that. And humbly, he can say that. He doesn't have to talk about that. But so that's unique. I think that's unique in college football.
Bailey, you got a question before we keep going?
Just keep talking about Coach Prime. What do you think? You've seen his impact the last few years on the Colorado Buffaloes program. Just what do you think his biggest impact has been on Colorado Buffaloes football?
Well, I think the biggest impact so far has been just notoriety and attention, national attention. Mm-hmm. The day we hired him, we were on every radio show, every TV show, every sports talk, and we've been way ever since.
Yeah.
Now, everybody was all excited, and the first 3 games last year just took everybody over the top. I mean, those games and the atmosphere were unbelievable. Never seen anything like it at Colorado, probably never will again. But you reach a point where, everybody's excited, but everybody needs to see something better than what's being played out right now or has been last year. And so I think that's where we are. The impacts, there's no way you can equate what that impact has done. I mean, financially, every seat sold, I mean, we have people advertising with us. We have, so many things going on. Every major football game is being viewed by us every weekend. We had more people watching our games last year than any other school. So
this year too. I mean, almost 5 million people watch North Dakota State.
There's no way you can put a value on that, but it is so valuable. But now we're almost to that point where, okay, we got to do more than this. And we've created some naysayers. Deion is polarizing. And, last year we had 98% of the population. This year we've probably got 60% of the population.
That's a good number, Coach.
Yeah, that's a good number. 40% of them have gone the other way, but that's okay. But it's there, and it allows us to at least have some credibility around the country, or at least some viability.
And it allows us to recruit, and they're the kings of social media. And that we were just talking about Shedeur having Juju on his show, the Juju Lewis kid, the 5-star quarterback. How cool all that is. We didn't have those resources back in the day. You actually had to pound the pavement and go out and recruit your guys. It wasn't just like a national database online. That said, I'm a huge proponent that you're not really ever losing, you're learning. Like, we can learn from all the mistakes we've made if we can figure out the mistake. Last week, when they're down 20-17 at halftime, North Dakota State, they come out and they pretty much shut them out the second half, with the exception of that quarterback run. The last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter was pretty shaky, but other than that, the second half was pretty good defensively. And offensively, they seem to adjust and try and take advantage of things. Moving into Nebraska week, knowing what you know about this team in Lincoln, how do you think they match up against the Cornhuskers currently?
Well, I think I'd rather be taking our team in there at 7-point underdogs than being Nebraska this week, because I learned a lot about my football team last week.
Yep.
They didn't learn much about their football team. That was a 7-on-7 practice. That was that team that they beat is 1-6 against Power 5 opponents. The team we beat has 17 national championships. They have a culture of winning. Everybody that steps on that field thinks they're going to win and win big, and they're going to beat anybody they play against. That was a well-coached, really good football team we played against, talented football team, and they had a great plan against us, and they executed very well. But we had to figure some things out. We had to work that game, man. And so we had to challenge our players. We had to change the defense up. We had to do some things that Nebraska didn't have to do. So
they were sitting in the third quarter.
Right. We know more about our team than they know about theirs, is the way I look at this.
And that's fantastic, because going into Memorial, I don't know if there's a CU team that's ever been favored walking in there, but we damn sure know how to win there. I mean, they won there in 18. We won there in 04. We won there in 02. I mean, EB's famous game back in the day in the rain where he fumbled and then came back, and what was that? That was 90, right?
In 90, yeah.
That was a famous game in Lincoln. So it's not that we haven't won there in the past. Just talking to Bucky at the beginning of the week and having it reiterated to the team, the Memorial is daunting, but it's also the quietest place in the country when you walk out of it a victor. So, out of those victories, I know you can't pick one, but I'm telling you, in 04, when we ended that bowl streak and we got on that plane, and then we knew that they weren't going to a bowl, and we had just pretty much secured the North Division title. Is there a more satisfying dub other than 01 than that one?
Probably not. Not everybody knows that story, as you know, but the whole 04 team was a miracle team, considering everything that we went through and how we persevered against everybody, it seemed like. And we stood up, and if you remember the seminars we had and the workshops that we had with all of us, and but to come back from the dead, as they had us buried, to come back and win the North again, that was really cool. That's one of the highlights of all the years coaching. I think that was probably our best year of coaching.
All right, so let's get into these boys now. Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, Jimmy Horn, they're elite. What would be your coaching critique of Shedeur Sanders right now? What could he get better at, and what is he just exceptional at?
He's exceptional at most things. What he can get better at is just realizing last week, instead of making a selfish call, and he says it was for the receiver. Yeah, okay, but
the bomb at the end of the game.
It was a very selfish move.
Yeah, it was a bad call.
Kind of stuff. He's a great player, and he's got the head for it, Matt. He's a bright kid, and I just think, if he wants to be like Tom Brady ain't going to make that throw. Tom Brady's going to find a way to win that game without having that kind of pressure put on your defense at the end of the game. So it's the little things like that just comes with years of experience. That you just can't take it all in 1 year. It's like drinking from a fire hose. So you get a little bit every year, and then you absorb that. And that's what he needs to do. He needs to absorb what he can absorb this year to make himself better. He's an NFL quarterback. He's got an NFL talent. He's got an NFL brain. He's an adult in most situations.
Travis Hunter, same question. I've never seen a unicorn like 12 in my life.
He's a generational player. Never seen one. Unicorn's a good word for him, but the minute I saw him the first time, and it was just at a practice, they were throwing the ball around. I've never seen a player who's got the ball skills.
It's unreal.
The intrinsic values, his instincts, his body control, all that stuff. Really, it's off the charts. I haven't seen a player. I've been doing this for 64 years, so I haven't. 64, about right. So I haven't seen anybody like him at any level. So
if you only had one place to play him, receiver or corner, where are you going? I put you on the spot. Gotcha.
I'm an offensive coach, Matt. Where do you?
There you go, baby. 3 touchdowns a game.
But those dudes are hard to find on the other side that can lock you down. So, but he's magnificent either way.
Do you think they can look? I practiced both ways in the NFL for about 3 years. I never played both ways in a game. I was dressed, and then I'd be like a reserve defensive lineman. I take a lot of pride in that, but I never played 129 out of 131 snaps before. That's insane. Is that sustainable, Coach?
Matt, you weren't a unicorn.
Thank you, Coach.
You were Matt. You are a unicorn, but not like he is. So
I'm like the mule with like the unicorn thing that's like being taped on.
Whatever. In my life, you've been a unicorn. So
I love you.
No, I think he can. I mean, he's just one of those guys that can do it. I mean, geez. And I mean, why not have the best player on offense and the best player on defense on the field every time that you line up? So
it's insane to see how good they can be. Last question about the Buffs, and then we'll talk about Nebraska a little bit, and then I got one more for you. Jordan Seaton, first left tackle in Colorado history to start as a true freshman. I thought he was, if they don't call your name and they don't say anything about you at left tackle, you did pretty good. What was your evaluation of the big man after week 1? Because I think that on the offense alone, you look around the country, I think Jordan Seaton is a top 5 pick. I think Travis Hunter's a top 5 pick, and I think Shador's a top 5 pick. If you have 3 top 5 picks on your offense, you should be kicking the shit out of people.
Well, he's not a top 5 pick yet. And
as he progresses.
You weren't listening to my broadcast because he got beat on an inside move about 3 or 4 times, and I called it. But
I love that. That's why we have Cards Barnett on the show, folks, right there. Get better, rookie.
I've also watched all this film from the spring and from this year, and I watch him intensely every day. He's going to be a great player. He's got great ability. He's just that experience I was talking about, right? He's drinking from a fire hose. He can only take in so much. And so he's going to have some he's going to take in next year and some the next year. But he's you can only absorb so much in your first year. But he's going to be a good player. I think. I don't know about top 5 pick. I don't know much about that piece of it. But he's very athletic. He's going to be a good player. And I thought overall he played pretty well the other day.
I love Coach Barnett so much. The minute I'm like, he did pretty good. He's like, they got beaten inside 3 times. That is exactly why the teams that we played on in Boulder that were led by this man, it would be like, yeah, you did your job. High five. Shut up. Do it again. Like, that's the way it's supposed to work. So, all right, couple more here for you, Coach. The University of Nebraska, obviously, throughout history here, there's been some bad blood moments, all right? Like some of them forced by them and some of them not. In 1990, I can only imagine how you felt when you guys opened up the paper after beating Notre Dame to win the Natty and found out that Tom Osborne was the only guy that voted against us to split the national title. That pisses me off, and I was 8. And then, in 01, I remember sitting in the banquet room after we just beat Texas and the BCS ranking came up, and they were above us, and we just beat them by 30, and we just beat Texas, who was the number 2 or 3 ranked team in the country at the time. I'm not saying we would have beat the U. That might be the best college football team I've ever seen, but I will say we would have given them a better fight than Nebraska did in the Rose Bowl. You were part of both of those things. How glad are you now that college football is in a win your conference, go to the playoff, 14-team to 16-team playoff, where people actually get the opportunity. If you win your conference, you could have 3 losses and go win your conference and still go win a national championship if you're on a roll. It's taken out of computers' hands, it's taken out of voters' hands. That's got to make you feel good as a coach, right?
Well, I go back and I'm going to give you a different perspective here. In 1990, we did it to ourselves. We were 1-1 going in to the Missouri game where we won on a 5th down play. So we were a dominant team at the end of the year, but we had big heads, we had issues, and as a result, we paid the price. And if you lose, if you're 1-1 and you have the thing in Missouri, I can understand why we end up sharing a national title. I think we should look at it as we're damn lucky to have been able to share. We got it. Okay. Somebody wants another piece. Okay. But we earned ours. And then, 2001, we did it to ourselves, Matt.
Fresno State.
And then Texas, we don't lose to Fresno and Texas. We're a walk-in, shoe-in team. So, you can't always get what you want, but you probably get what you need. So
Mick Jagger line to close it. Boom, and there he is. That's the man, Coach Gary Barnett, my head coach, and a guy that I just look up to immensely, and a father figure that I could not replace in my life. Coach, I love you so much. I can't wait to see you in Lincoln. This is my conundrum this week, bro. My son is being recruited by Nebraska, and they invited him out to a game. I'm just going to have to sit there and be like,
yes, please.
That's just not going to work.
Control yourself.
You're going to try, man. I don't know if it's going to work out very well, but we'll see.
Well, congrats to you if he's being recruited. That's a great.
It's pretty awesome.
Whole recruiting things, as you know, is just an unbelievable experience. So,
and it's wild as hell these days. So, Coach, go out there, enjoy your call. I can't wait to see you after a big dub, and we can close down this sweep, a nice little 4 in a row against Nebraska as we roll into 2024.
That'd be incredible, wouldn't it?
Amen, brother. Amen.
All
Thank
right.
you, Coach. Appreciate it. I love you, man.
Great to be with you.
Yeah.
Honor to meet you. Thank you for joining.
Coach.
Man, what an honor.
What a fucking show, bro.
That was awesome.
Bro, look, Coach Barnett, no one has ever been more fucked over by the University of Colorado than Coach Barnett was, period. Okay? There's no way he ever should have been fired. Everybody, talks about the 70-3 game. That Texas team might be the best college football team I've ever seen, better than 01 Miami, okay? The year before we played the same exact team in Folsom, we lost 28-7. It was the dogfight, but they're obviously better than us. The next year, they just matured. And when they fired Coach Barnett and, tried to embarrass him, and then went and hired Dan Hawkins, and then went, the hires after that and all the bullshit to finally get to Dion. Look, bro, Coach Barnett should have been the coach the entire time. And we would have been 8, 9, 10 wins every fucking year because he knows how to develop and he knows how to dominate. That's what he does. So I'm so glad he's back in the fold to a point. But I really hope that the University of Colorado, Rick George, everybody up there, I really hope that before, inevitabilities happen, 10, 15 years, we got to get Coach Barnett on the fucking building. He needs his name retired on the building in Folsom. We need to name something in the goddamn stadium after him, the field or something. That man kept this place together, and they turned their back on him, and it shouldn't have happened. So Coach Barnett is revered up there. Everyone loves that man. If you don't, then you have a fucking agenda. You probably don't like Prime either. And I'm telling you, man, it's so awesome that he's still active and still available and doing podcasts, and his calls are awesome with Mark Johnson. And it's just Coach Barnett's the man. I love him so much, and I'm so honored to have him on the show. So
yeah, that was a tremendous honor. That was a really great show. He obviously provided that wisdom. It was really nice hearing, just little stories of him coaching you and just stuff like that. I mean, we can't.
I am a unicorn, Bailey. All right.
Yeah, hey, he gave you your credit. You were a unicorn. Yeah, going back and forth, offensive line, defensive line at a high level, man. That is.
I'm a mule. I'm not a unicorn. I'm a mule. Okay, I'm like Donkey from Shrek, who thinks he's a fucking unicorn. All right, don't get it twisted. Travis is a unicorn. I'm Donkey.
Yeah, baby. He gave me those flowers. That was nice to hear, and that was a really great interview. It was an honor interviewing him, getting to talk.
And I love his different perspective. Whereas a player, I'm like, we got fucked, and he's like, nah, dummy, we fucked ourselves. Yeah, like that. That's who he was. Mm-hmm. I would come in and I'd be like, Coach, I got arrested for drinking and fighting. I can't believe they did this to me. And he'd be like, they did this to you, you stupid fuck. What are you talking about? Stay in your house. Stay in your house, meathead.
Yeah, that's a great line at the last one.
It's just what it is. So, look, tomorrow we have a great show for you. We have 2001 conference champion quarterback and one of my best friends on this earth, Bobby Pesavento, is going to be joining us. Mm-hmm. And we're going to tell some stories and have some laughs and relive some of the old school Nebraska moments and talk about this group. He's going to Lincoln with the broadcast to be on the sideline talking shit and, giving you play-by-play from Memorial Field live on the sideline. So that's going to be pretty cool. And then look, bro, then it's on. All right. They're getting on a plane tomorrow. They're flying to Lincoln. Yeah. After we play tomorrow night up in Erie, Nick and I jump in the truck and drive straight to Lincoln. We've got about 5-6 recruits going out with us. Everybody else is going to Oklahoma State, Arkansas, and the Air Force game and some other places. So, look, it's on. It's Nebraska week. It's Thursday. It's motherfucking noon on Thursday. The weekend's here. Watch tonight's NFL game. Get your fucking mind right. Get your fucking mind right for the Corn. Walk into Memorial and bust that motherfucking ass. There's no fucking better feeling on earth than walking off that field and listening to all 90,000 rednecks do nothing. They just say, good game, good game, good game. I know it was a good game. Fuck you. Go back to your farm. All right? It's what it is. I can't wait. It's motherfucking Nebraska week. Get your motherfucking mind right. Let's go, Bucks.
Man, what a great show. We're going to break down the Colorado-Nebraska game tomorrow. Matt's going to bring that fire tomorrow. We got special guests and more. Thank you all for watching. I cannot thank you all enough, all 711 people in here. If you're watching, hit that like button, subscribe, become a member of the Dungeon family for only $2.99 for access to Matt's film breakdowns. Matt's the best in the game with those film breakdowns, man. Real exclusive. You don't want to miss it. Become a member today. Man, I can't thank you all enough for watching. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Man, can't wait. See y'all. Peace.
Go Buffs.